Week, headlines announce new breakthroughs in our understanding of the universe, new technologies that will transform our environment, medical advances that will extend our lives. Science is giving us unprecedented insights into some of the big questions that challenge humanity ever since we've been able to formulate those questions. Where did we come from? What is the ultimate destiny of the universe? The building blocks of a physical world. How does a collection of cells become conscious? In the last 10 years alone, we've landed a spaceship on a comet, made robots that can create their own language, stem cells to repair the pancreas of diabetic patients, discovered how to use the power of thought alone to manipulate a robotic arm, sequenced the DNA of a 50,000-year-old cave girl. Science magazines are bursting with the latest breakthroughs emerging from the world's laboratories. So much. The advances of science are extremely intoxicating. Science has given us our best weapon in our fight against fate. Giving in to the ravages of disease and natural disaster, science has created vaccines to combat deadly viruses like polio and even Ebola. With an escalating world population, scientific advances provide the best hope of feeding the 9.6 billion people who are projected to be alive in 2050. Science that is warning us about the deadly impact we're having on our environment and giving us the chance to do something about it, but it's too late. The asteroid might have wiped out the dinosaurs, but the science that humans have developed best shield against any future direct hits. Human race's constant battle with death, science is its best ally. This is king not only when it comes to our fight for survival, but also improving our quality of life. Or to communicate with friends and family across vast distances. We have unparalleled access to the database of knowledge we've accumulated over generations of investigation. Created virtual worlds that we can escape to in our leisure time. Recreate in our living rooms the great performances of Mozart and Metallica, press of a button. Desire to know rammed into the human psyche. Early humans with a thirst for knowledge, those who have survived, adapted, transformed their environment. Not driven by that craving, were left behind. Evolution has favoured the mind that wants to know the secrets of how the universe works. Adrenaline rush that accompanies the discovery of new knowledge. Nature's way of telling us that the desire to know is important, drive to reproduce. Aristotle articulated in the opening line of his book Metaphysics, understanding how the world works, basic human need. As a school kid, science very quickly drew me into its outstretched arms. In love with this extraordinary power to tell us so much about the universe. Classic stories that my science teachers told me seemed even more fanciful. Fiction I'd been reading at home. Worked its spell on me. Tuned every outlet of science I could get my hands on. I persuaded my parents to buy me a subscription to New Scientist. Now it's Scientific American in our local library. The television each week to watch episodes of my favourite science programmes, Horizon and Tomorrow's World. Captivated by Jacob Chernetsky's The Pink of Man, Carl Sagan's Cosmos, Miller's Body of Costume. For institution Christmas lectures did a good dollar for science inside our family turkey. Stocking was stuffed with books by Gamow and Feynman. Heady time, with new breakthroughs being announced each week. Aside reading these stories of the discovery of things we know, I tend to get fired up untold tales. New lay in the past. We didn't yet know. Future. I'm obsessed with the puzzle books of mathematician Martin Gardner that my math teacher gave me. Excitement of wrestling with a conundrum, and release of euphoria as I cracked each puzzle, me addicted to the drug of discovery. Puzzles were my training ground, greater challenge, tackling questions that didn't have an answer in the back of the book. The unanswered questions, mathematical mysteries and scientific puzzles no one had cracked, become the fuel for my life as a scientist. No. Back to the 70s when I was at school and compare the things that we knew then, know now. Quite extraordinary how much we've understood about the universe, even in the half century that I've been alive. Technology has extended our senses and see things that were in the conception of the scientists who excited me as a kid. Range of telescopes that look out at the night sky, other planets like the Earth, home to intelligent life. Reveal the amazing fact, 3/4 of the way into the lifetime of the universe, expansion of the universe started to accelerate. The reading as a kid, and for a big crunch, it seems that we have a completely different future waiting for us. Colliders like the Large Hadron Collider at CERN, the European Organisation for Nuclear Research in Switzerland, allowed us to penetrate the inner workings of matter itself, revealing new particles. The top quark, but in 1994, boson discovered in 2012. Speculative mathematics when I was reading my New Scientist at school. The early 90s, MRI scanner allowed us to look inside the brain, discover things that in the 70s were frankly not even considered part of the remit of scientists. Brain was the preserve of philosophers and theologians. Today, technology can reveal, thinking about Jennifer Aniston, predict what you're going to do next, or you know. Technology has seen an explosion of breakthroughs. 2003 announced that scientists have mapped one whole human DNA sequence consisting of 3 letters of genetic code. 2011, the complete neuronal network of the C. elegans worm was published, being a complete picture of how the 302 neurons in the worm are connected. Two have been breaking new territory. A completely new form of carbon was discovered in 1985, which binds together like a football. This surprised us again in 2003, creating the first examples of graphene, showing how carbon form a honeycomb lattice thick. My lifetime, subject to which I would eventually dedicate myself, mathematics, in some of the great enigmas finally resolved. This last theorem, Poincare conjecture, challenges that had boxed creations of mathematicians. Mathematical tools and insights have opened up pathways to navigate the mathematical universe. Up with all these new advances, and making your own contribution, challenge in its own right. It's all professorship. Years ago, a new job title to add to my role as a professor of mathematics at the University of Oxford. It makes me laugh. The Simone Professor, Understanding of Science. If you believe such a title, I should know it all. Me up, expecting that I know the answers to every question of science. After I'd taken on the job, a prize for medicine was announced. Journalists called, hoping for an explanation of the breakthrough that was being rewarded. Discovery of telomeres. Biology has never been my strong point. Sitting in front of my computer screen, though I'm embarrassed to admit, a Wikipedia page up on telomeres, and after a quick scan, get to explain authoritatively that they are the bit of genetic code at the end of our chromosomes that controls aging, among other things. Technology we have at our fingertips increase that sense, have the potential to know. Tap my question into a search engine, voice seems to predict, before I finish typing, what it is I want to know. It's a list of places to find the answer. Understanding is different from a list of facts. Possible for any scientist to know it all. How to solve non-linear partial differential equations. To know how SU3 governs the connection between fundamental particles. To know how cosmological inflation gives rise to the state of the universe. To know how to solve Einstein's equations of general relativity.